Hello and welcome to the Tram Shed in East London. I'm here with Mark Hix and we are doing our monthly cooking workshop. Today we are going to cook some cranberry sauce and some bread sauce. So Mark, what should we start with here? What ingredients do we need?
Okay, so in advance I've got an onion. So basically when you make bread sauce, I think it's really important to get as much flavour into it. A lot of people sort of take shortcuts and don't do all the business. So what I've got here is half an onion. It's been studded with cloves and a bay leaf. So that's been simmering.
Can we show that to the camera?
That's been simmering there for about 30 minutes. Okay.
So that's what you called an infusion?
Yeah, so that's infused. So that milk now is going to taste of the onion and the cloves and everything. The next step really is to melt some butter, finely chop the other half of the onion, and this is going to then also go into the bread sauce, so we're getting lots of flavour into this bread sauce.
I'm interested in your technique there. Is that something you learned to do, or was
Yeah,
always done?
I think what we'll do next year is we'll do like a sort of a knife skills thing, but this is something that I've done from sort of early college days really, so I can sort of do it with my eyes closed almost. I'll do it slowly for you.
So it's a whole onion or half an onion we're doing?
Yeah, we'll do a whole onion, yeah.
And we're just going to simmer that with the butter?
Yeah, we're going to simmer that in the milk. We're just going to sort of cook it in the butter first.
Do you get the onion eyes just like everyone else, or do you build up a resistance?
You do over the year, but every so often you get the odd onion that is like really strong, and it's really about, you know, if the onions are really fresh, then you tend not to get the onion.
So it's older onions that give you the...
Well, it can be, or a blunt knife.
Right.
So if your knife is blunt, you're actually bruising the onion as you're cutting it.
I see.
So most of the time when people think, you know, these onions are really strong, they're not strong at all.
They're just old.
So if you think about a blunt knife, it's actually
And it's because of the
crushing
bacon.
it instead of, yeah, exactly, yeah.
So we're just going to simmer. How long do we...
So they're just going to soften them for a couple of minutes.
Okay.
So whilst that's cooking, cranberry sauce. So you can add all sorts of things. You can use frozen cranberries, fresh cranberries.
Should we show the camera that? While we do that? So that's how many we're talking about. How many is this going to...
Well, this is enough for about 8 people, so.
Okay.
And sugar.
How much sugar?
Well, I always add less than you think because it's easier to add more later. Than,
Okay.
you can put flavourings like cloves, a bay leaf, cinnamon, so you get those sort of Christmassy flavours.
Okay.
I'm also going to add some orange to it, so a bit of orange juice.
That's a very Christmassy flavour there, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And then once, you know, if you've got cranberry sauce left over, it goes really well with things like ham, bacon. You can also grate a bit of the rind in if you want. Or if you have made too much sauce, or your guests haven't eaten all the bread sauce, you can mix it with some apples and make a nice pie.
Right.
So sort of apple and cranberry.
So why does cranberry sauce go so well with ham and different...
Well, I think it's more about the acidity, really. You know, cranberries are naturally quite acidic. And although they're not grown in the UK, it's just become one of those sort of traditional things. I mean, you don't have to have cranberry sauce. You could... There's all sorts of other berries, you know, like red currants, for example. You could freeze some red currants when they're in season. And
Where do cranberries grow then?
well, they're normally grown and farmed in the States.
Okay. So these are American cranberries?
Yeah, so really, they've got the sort of monopoly on the cranberries.
Which bit of the US?
It's a very good question. It's a very good question. I knew you'd ask me that.
I'm sure one of our viewers will know.
Yeah, well, probably. They probably grow them in all sorts of places, but
Yeah.
they seem to be sort of condensed in that company Ocean Spray, which sort of,
Yeah.
they must be like the cranberry mafia. Right, okay.
So we've got two sauces on the go. We've got the cranberry sauce and the bread sauce. And we've been simmering some milk with a
with the
clove
onion.
and bay leaf onion.
So I'm just going to add those onions to that.
That looks nice. I think butter is good in every dish.
It is, and you can add a bit more butter later, but the main thing here is it's all about this sort of consistency of this bread sauce. So a couple more minutes on there.
And bread sauce is good as an accompaniment for what over Christmas?
Well, you know, interestingly, a few years ago, I had some bread sauce that was sitting in the fridge, and it sort of set solid. And the next day, I sort of cut it into pieces and put it in flour, egg, and breadcrumbs, and then pan-fried it like a little sort of cake. And I've been using it ever since with sort of gaming things. So, you know, it is quite versatile. But you know, bread sauce.
So that's like a bread sauce pancake sort of thing.
Yeah, sort of. You know, we cut them about that thick, like that, and we serve like, you know, game birds on there. So it makes a really nice little starter with a partridge breast or something. Or even cut it into croutons and do it with a little game salad. But bread sauce also, you know, all different game birds: grouse, partridge, pheasant, and you can even serve it with a sort of roast ham as well. Really, you know, if you do a sort of honey roast ham over Christmas.
So I'll reintroduce the Facebook Live in a second. So we're here with Mark Hix at the Tram Shed, and we are cooking
In the library.
In the library.
So this is my kitchen library.
In his brilliant library. And we're making up some cranberry sauce and some bread sauce. So if you've got any questions about Christmas, how to cook your turkey, anything you like, Mark is available for you for the next 10-15 minutes. Please fire away with questions. So how long does the bread sauce take now?
Well, the bread sauce now, so I'm going to add the breadcrumbs.
Okay.
And once you've got all the flavour, as in the onions and things, into it, that's the sort of long thing out the way. So you could, the night before, get your onion milk all infused.
I see.
And then
this won't take a huge amount of time.
No, so this bit I'm doing now is really the sort of final bit. You know, you're just getting the right consistency, getting the bread cooked, and try and always use fresh white breadcrumbs. Don't be tempted to put any sort of brown crusts and things, otherwise you're going to end up with a sort of funny grey coloured bread sauce.
So this would be, you'd be preparing this in the last half an hour or so?
Yeah, so you can add the bread to it, half an hour before, or even a few hours before, really. And just keep it covered in the pan until you need it.
So when you're cooking Christmas lunch, what are you doing in between? Do you sort of spend all the time in the kitchen, or do you try and pop back and forth?
No, I try and get prepared as much as possible before. So even to the point of, you know, blanching vegetables in advance. You know, all this sort of stuff. If I'm doing turkey, would be done the day before. Because a lot of people do start all the hard work in the morning and end up spending the whole day in the kitchen.
So start the evening before then?
Yeah. Or even a few days. You know, you can make your gravy a few days before. You don't need to, try and do all that stuff in the morning. You know, so many people make the mistake of trying to make the gravy after their roast joint is cooked.
Right.
Whereas, you know, good gravy takes a good hour or so.
Right.
So I always buy bones. You know, a few months ago we did that sort of gravy session here. So
you'd use the leftovers from the meal a week before, so...
What you can do, or just buy some bones from the butcher, you know, or save any carcasses that you've...
Because that's quite a traditional thing, to take the meat, the sauces and the juice from cooking turkey.
You can always
You don't need to do that.
But I always keep my gravy in little batches in the freezer.
Right.
As well. And then for turkey as well, you know, I don't really cook the turkey whole with the legs on and everything. I take so if you buy your turkey a few days before, take the legs off, and then I normally bone them and stuff them with a bit of extra minced turkey, apricots, whatever you fancy, and then sort of roll them up so that they're about that size in cling film, and just poach them, and then take the backbone out of the turkey to make your gravy with, so you can make the gravy a few days in advance. So also it doesn't take up too much room in the fridge.
So you're not cooking all the bone as well in the...
No, exactly, because that stuff's then used to get flavour into the gravy. So in your fridge you've got your breasts on the bone and your 2 boned legs, and then cook that, which takes about an hour. You know, a lot of people make the mistake of, you know, turning the oven on in the morning at 8 o'clock and then overcooking their turkey.
That's a great idea. I'm sure we've just saved a few dozen overcooked turkeys now, just with that one tip.
Yeah. But if you use that method, then you know, an hour is.
Do you have any particularly memorable roasts that you've made or eaten or anything?
Well, normally at Christmas time I do roasted game birds, but small ones like teal and snipe and woodcock. And they look great just all on the board, because each of your guests can sort of choose 2 different types of birds, so you've got different flavours, little teal, like, which is a little baby wild duck.
Right.
And you can still serve it with all these Christmas flavours, you know, or even in advance you can make stuff like rowan jelly or red currant jelly, that sort of stuff, rose hip. So, once that's done, I'm going to
So we're here, we are halfway through making our cranberry and bread sauce sauces for Christmas. The cranberries are reducing down nicely here, it smells really good. So the
what
next
I'm
thing...
going to do now is just this will just finish off the bread sauce nicely. I'm going to
blend it up.
not all of it, just about a quarter of it,
Okay.
and add that back to it. So if you taste that, now,
That's very rich. That's very good. It's got the essence of bread.
exactly. But you know what it has got is all the. So you just blend that little bit really smoothly.
What does that do to the texture?
It gives it that nice sort of creamy texture. And what you've got here is you've got all those flavours blended in. And that'll give it the effect of being a bit more sort of creamy. So if you taste that again now.
Okay. That's lovely. Yeah, it sort of fills in the gaps.
Yeah, exactly.
Sort of on your palate.
And if you are going to make it in advance, don't be tempted to make it really thick to start with, because if I leave this now for an hour, it's going to swell up the bread and it'll end up being a bit thicker. So I would take it to that sort of consistency.
Okay.
Sort of porridge, like, really.
Okay. And then how
It'll
quickly...
make quite a good savoury porridge.
And then you serve that straight away then?
Yeah, just warm it back up.
Right.
Cranberries, again, you can cook them as much as you want. A lot of the time people do tend to overcook their cranberry sauce. But for me, you want to have a few sort of, you know, nice whole cranberries in there.
Pick that one up and show one to the camera. That's there. That's the colour we're talking like. Sort of, not completely soft, still a bit of structure to it.
Yeah, and try and leave them fairly whole. I'm going to add a little bit more sugar now because I've added...
Yes. That's quite citrusy, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's it, really.
So where do we go from here with the cranberry sauce? We're just going to...
Yeah, you just leave that to cool down and that'll just thicken up nicely. So you normally sort of serve cranberry sauce at room temperature anyway, so by the time that's cooled down but not cold, you know, don't refrigerate it, just leave it at room temperature. And what you could do again, like a bit like I did with the bread sauce, if you want to blend a little bit of that and pour it back in, you could do that.
Should we try a bit of that? Should we see what happens? So we're going to blend a bit of the cranberry sauce, which is, you can really see the berries, they're all there, and then mix it up. Have we had any questions?
Is that it? Good morning, Mark, from Mark the Garlic What right?
Oh, how are you, Mark?
And we've had someone saying too much onion with a little geeky emoji.
That's quite rude to say that, isn't it? What do you say to that, Mark?
Is this Mark the Garlic then?
No, this is someone who's disappeared off screen.
Oh, really? Too much onion, really? Well, the thing is, maybe what they don't realise is, you know, this onion that we've used for the flavour, this big half an onion, is going to then come out. So that doesn't stay in. So all we've got in here is...
I'll tip it forward a bit so you can see.
Yeah.
Yum.
And the whole point of, onions, once they cook down, it's a bit like garlic. People say, I don't like garlic. But if you cook it down properly, and that flavour disappears. So I think a lot of people misuse onions, garlic, that sort of thing.
We've got Jimmy. Oh.
Jimmy?
Jimmy Goldston says Merry Christmas, Mark.
Ah, how are you, Jimmy? Is he up north? Are you up north, Jimmy?
Tell us. Tell us, Jimmy.
Jimmy used to work for me.
So we've just blended a bit of the cranberry sauce here.
Yeah, so that just gives it a bit of...
So that looks a bit more recognisably like cranberry sauce to me now. Maybe...
And that's also helped thicken it a bit.
Yeah. That looks great.
Jimmy says, yes, I'm in Leeds, lol.
He got fed up with London. Decided to go back to Leeds. What are you cooking, Jimmy? Hopefully you're doing the turkey. The old method we used to.
Okay, so should we serve a bit of that so we can see it on a plate?
Yeah, so those...
It's going to be a bit sad because we're missing the turkey, but you can feel that.
We're
into
missing
your
the
imagination.
turkey. What did Mark the Garlic want, anyway? Did he have a question, or was he just saying hi?
They're all just saying hello.
Okay, hold that up to the camera. So we have some homemade bread pudding and some homemade cranberry sauce here. Mark, do you want to walk us through the cranberry sauce again? What was the process there?
Okay, so really simple. We've got sugar, cinnamon, a few cloves, fresh or frozen cranberries. I added some grated orange zest and the juice. And that's it really, it only took about 10 minutes to cook in total. You don't need to be stewing those down. So by blending that little bit of extra at the end, help to give it that sort of nice jammy colour without overcooking the cranberries.
And that will be served at room temperature, so you can do that. You could do that a week before almost. And leave
Yeah, you could. Yeah, just bring it out. Just make sure it's not stone cold when you serve it.
And then for the bread sauce, do you want to talk us through?
Yeah, so we had that infusion, which was the onion studded with the cloves and the bay leaf. The other half of the onion just gently cooked down in butter, and then you add the infused milk to it, fresh breadcrumbs, and that was it really.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for watching. We both wish you Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas.
And tune in next month. What are we doing next month, Joe? We're doing non-alcoholic cocktails in January for your detox after you gorge yourself on bread sauce and cranberry sauce with your turkey. So thank you very much for watching.